welcome to MGP509. I'm Kevin. With me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
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 We're back after a week of absolutely no podcast. We have returned. Welcome back, us. Hello, everyone. Did you miss us while we were gone? I bet they did. No one cares. Everyone's replying to their phones now, going, "Yeah, Kev, we did miss the podcast last week.
Kevin, we listened to it.
It was a real shame that it wasn't on.
All you did was moan.
Podcast." Yeah, I was furious. We were driving and we finished listening to the good podcast that we were listening to. And because I have to be subscribed to this one, it auto-played as I was driving. And Anna wouldn't turn it off. So we had to listen to like the first 10 minutes of it. Oh, it made me cross. I don't even remember why. There were several things that happened that made me very cross. So it's best we don't discuss it. Oof. Oh, I was cross.
No, he didn't like the fact that the song.
Oh, God, yeah, the song.
Too long,
I know I've brought this up so many times, and it's been 10 years. That song is too long. We need a new intro song. There is not a chance a new listener is going to listen to a 35-second intro before anybody says a word. It is ridiculous. Bin the song. Oh, my word.
Yeah.
I know I've said it so many times before, but it is killing the podcast. It is absolutely killing it.
Stop.
Oh, I agree. It is long. It's a nice song. Like as an outro, maybe it would be quite fun. But yeah, I often put it on when I'm away and go like play, and then that starts, and then I'm like looking at my watch, thinking, "Oh God."
Please, listeners, tweet at us and let us know. I know the real old school will be like, "No, you've got to keep it," but there's 9 of you. I would love to have YouTube style analytics on this to see just how many people turn off during that hour-long intro song. Oh my word.
I might be able to get them from Apple. I'll have a look and see whether there is like a high fall off after like 25 seconds.
I mean, there must be. It's just because there's one point where it's like, oh, thank goodness that's over, and then it picks up again. Oh my word. Have we not got like a 5-second version of it we can use? I'm sure we used to have little stinger versions.
There's loads. There's 3 or 4, but they don't. They are. They don't. To me, they don't work as well. There's not like a shortened theme.
Tweet at RB6K, boys and girls, and let us know. My vote is bin the intro music completely and just get on with it.
I mean,
that's what I wanted when I was driving around.
The 35-second version is the shortened version of the 4-minute song.
Good Lord. I don't listen to any podcasts that have an intro song.
See, for me, it's fine because I have a 15-second skip, so I just go skip, and it's done.
When you're driving, that's illegal, Pab.
What?
If you hold down the next button, just keep it held down, it starts fast forwarding for you.
Still think that's a legal grey area if you're driving a motor vehicle.
It's on my steering wheel, Kevin.
Don't think you should be interacting with it in any way.
I mean, it's on my steering wheel.
Policeman, tweet at RB6K.
Yeah.
Because
tweet
I'm fairly sure
RB6K
you shouldn't be interacting with your entertainment system at all.
My steering wheel.
I think
Seems
it's dodgy.
A bit weird for Ford to put that on the steering wheel if I'm not supposed to use it.
Ford are known criminals, aren't they?
Yeah. It is true, actually. But no, I mean, you're right, and it is one of those things. I'm Denard, so I started a new podcast this week, and I'm not saying that as like a plug. It's more of a conversation, and I will plug it later. I was like, do I need a jingle? And I ended up putting a 10-second one on there because I was just like,
that still sounds 8 seconds too long.
Well, I start talking 8 seconds into it, so yeah, I agree again. We're singing from the same hymn sheet tonight, Chapman, but I just thought it might be a bit too harsh just going into hello and welcome to and straight off the bat, but maybe... I mean, I can't... Someone made it for us, so I don't want to just phase it out after 3 episodes. That feels like it would be a bit of a poke in the eye, but maybe long-term I'll stop putting them on there.
Well, the one we used for this podcast, we stole 10 years ago, so we probably should have stopped using it by now anyway.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we don't have the legal rights to it.
It does say on there, I remember you bought it, and you was like, we're going to use it. And then when I looked at the rights, it said something like, cannot be used for podcasts. And it's just like...
We've only used it for 500 or so. It's fine.
Yeah. But, I mean, we've got away with it this far. Let's just sell copies of it to people. We'll just be like, if you want it, if you love it that much.
If anyone wants to buy the intro song, like, we'll sell it to you. I think I paid like 80 quid for it 10 years ago. If anyone wants to offer me £81, I'll send you the files and burn them on our end, and we're all done with it then.
I mean, you probably don't need to burn them on our end, but yeah.
I'll burn them.
So, did you have a good week away? We
had a delightful week away.
What are people eating? What was it? Sweden you went to? I was going to say, did you eat any?
Absolutely not. No, it was not Sweden.
Switzerland.
There we go. People, I mean, I don't want to steal the thunder of my own vlogs too much. They've not been released yet, but
Swiss
people,
cheese.
Cheese is the main thing. Fondue, raclette, which is basically fondue, but you dip meat in it rather than bread, from what I can gather. Rosties are a big Swiss thing. Chocolate, perch. Perch is a delicious fish. So I tried all the delicacies. Enjoyed the majority of them. Really enjoyed Alfie, who anyone who's watched any of my vlogs when I've been at places where I wasn't expecting Alfie to turn up will know, because Alfie's always at those places where I'm not expecting him to turn up. Alfie just turned up in Switzerland. He still looks about, I would say, if I'm being generous, about 14. So it looks like I'm there with my young son. And we sat there in a 5-star hotel having a candlelit fondue meal. And Alfie got told off by the waiter for eating his fondue wrong. And he offended them so much by eating it wrong. Not only did they did give him a tutorial in how to eat it, but that was only after they confiscated his fondue, took it back to the kitchen, replaced it with a fresh fondue that hadn't been ruined by Alfie, and then showed him how to eat it properly.
That's so wild.
This waiter was very cross.
I find
he was literally
baffling.
like, "This is no good. No, this is no good." And he just took it off him and left, and we didn't know what was going on. And then he came back and did the tutorial. But it took him like 3 minutes to come back. So I guess he was melting another massive block of cheese. And the best thing was, Alfie was just about done. He just about had enough. And then they just brought out this new cauldron full of cheese and made him eat it the correct way. He went green by the end of that meal. He had too much cheese, which is very easy to do in Switzerland, but he had far too much cheese.
If you went somewhere like that, if you're having a meal at a 5-star place, which I probably haven't ever done, I don't remember ever doing that. Would you be happy that they did that to you, or would you be mortified? I think I'd be a bit annoyed if someone told me off for eating it the way I chose to.
Oh, I gave them an extra tip because they upset Alfie.
I mean that sounds
for me.
Great,
it was great tableside entertainment watching him get told off. They clearly took one look at us, knew I was the money man, and he was just there for my amusement. So they thought they'd mess with him, and I loved every minute of it. They read the room perfectly.
That's fair. Maybe they do that to everyone who looks like they shouldn't be there.
Well, I didn't think we were going to get in, because we were when we went to do this, we were on our way to the football match, so we were dressed like football hooligans, jeans and raincoats, like real football hooligans, and trainers and whatnot. And we were very out of place, and they kind of sat us in the corner. But this 5-star hotel restaurant that we went to, they had all these things on the wall. That fondue has been eaten, presumably not the same block of cheese, but it's been eaten by Pele, George Lucas, Bill Murray, Pippa Middleton, various others. I took a photo of all the people who'd eaten there, but for some reason, I think it's because they could see I was in a rush to get to the football, they didn't ask for a photo of me. It might be because I didn't eat the fondue. Maybe it was the wall of fondue, but obviously I can't have cheese because of my gallstones, so I had a little sampling of it, and then had a rosti, which I thought was going to be like a big hash brown, but in actual fact it was like a big soggy hash brown, and it wasn't good food.
I dare you to send them a picture of yourself via email. And just say, I had this, and I just noticed you put people on the wall, and just see what they say. I just would love to hear.
Don't know if you're aware, Pele is now dead, so you might want to take his one down and put mine up in his place.
Just see what they say. I dare you. You've got to do it now. I've double dared you even.
I'd need someone. I need to re-study the tapes to remember the name of the restaurant. It's quite a famous one, I think. When someone asked where we went, and I said where we went because I still remembered, then they were like, "Oh yeah, good choice." So,
celebrity fondue.
I can't remember. Alfie picked it. I gave Alfie one job. Once I discovered he'd made his way into Switzerland somehow, I gave him one job: find us somewhere to have pre-match fondue. And I think he just Googled fondue and picked the most expensive advertised Google link.
Just kept adding stars to it because he knew you were paying.
I mean, there is a clip that is going to be in one of the vlogs that, as mentioned, aren't out yet, but they will be at youtube.com/LaLujo vlogs when the time comes in a couple of weeks. There is a clip where we're on our way to the only restaurant in town that sells fondue, according to Alfie, and the backdrop is just like 8 fondue restaurants behind me as I'm doing this clip. Because
Fondues are us.
Yeah, exactly. All these really cheap fondue places where we could have just had a little polystyrene cup of fondue to eat whilst walking down the street. Oh no, Alfie had to get the one where it's served in a cauldron over a log fire, surrounded by cat. It's because he knew I was paying. He is a monster. He swindled me out of a 5-star meal. Yeah, Switzerland was good.
Very cool.
Anna, you had a wonderful time in Switzerland, didn't you? Anna sampled very little in the way of the local food. Anna's afraid of foreign food, we discovered on this trip to Switzerland.
I'm not afraid of foreign food, I just don't like eating things I don't know.
We had a day trip in France as part of our little trip, which Anna loved because she wasn't getting her roaming in Switzerland for some reason. As soon as we crossed over the border, she could just sit there watching TikToks.
Stupid internet.
We went to one of the world's great cities for a day out, Annecy. We went to a beautiful French restaurant, and Anna had fish and chips because she's the most English person in history.
For starter.
We had French onion soup, but believe it or not, they don't call it that in France. They just call it onion soup. Who'd have thought? But it was. If anyone ever goes to France and is unsure about getting the onion soup, because you're not sure you know what it is, I assure you it is French onion soup. They're just being weird and not giving it its full name.
It's lovely, though.
Yeah, that was good. Another local... I'm all about the local delicacies now. When we go to Turin this week, Sheepdog, I don't even know what the local delicacy is in Turin.
Eat a shroud, a 2,000-year-old shroud of Christ.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the one thing I can't really have is pizza, so because I can't really have cheese. So we're going to Italy and I can't have pizza, which seems troubling.
Isn't it just ice cream? You can't have that either, I guess, can you?
No, I can't really have any... Sorbet I can have. It's Turin known for its sorbet.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of, like, if they do good ice cream, they probably do good sorbets for the people
what I'm
who can't
learning
handle
is it's the foods on the fringes of it's not the most famous thing from a place. Like when we went to Barcelona, it wasn't the paella that was the most delicious thing. It was that little dessert that we hadn't heard of previously. We went to Switzerland. The fondue wasn't the most delicious thing. It was the perch, the fish that I didn't hear of until I was already there. So I'm assuming the most delicious food in Turin is going to be one that we're not expecting it to be right now because we don't yet know it's from Turin. That's my thinking. So I don't need to worry about pizza and gelato. Maybe.
No, sounds reasonable.
Other than that, anything else interesting gone on while we've been off? While there wasn't a podcast last week? Or should we jump into some video
there was
games?
A podcast last week.
I don't believe
it. It was primarily bits and PCs.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was like a proper shout back to the PC days. Pab talking about his computer problems. Did you fix your problems, Pabby?
Yes. Yes, we did.
Cool. Back in the room now.
There's a new all-in-one cooler on it. Much bigger. Seems to have done the trick. So, fingers crossed that's solved until something else goes wrong. But as it stands, we're all good.
We established last week, Kev, that Pab's basically built an entire new PC to accommodate the graphics
I
card.
know. This was another thing that made me angry listening to it. As we managed to get completely lost driving around Coventry, and I was getting angry because I was getting lost, and angry because of what I was listening to, and the two things were just that it was like you and the city of Coventry were egging each other on to make me crosser and crosser. But yeah, as Pab was describing what he was doing, I was like, if you do that, you're going to need this. And then he's like, but then of course I'm going to need this. Like, yeah, and he's saying the things I'm saying just after I've said them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The first time I ever went to Coventry, I vowed to never return to it ever again because it was so hard to get out of and just an absolute nightmare. And then I met Mrs. Sheepdog like that night, and she lived in Coventry, and I visited it every week for the next 18 months. So
well, I didn't meet her. She wasn't there when we went.
I was going to say, don't vow to never go there again because you'll end up going there forever.
We've been there like 3 times now, and I get more and more lost each time. So it's just ridiculous. I was saying to Anna on the way out, for a city that was absolutely leveled during the war, they've deliberately done it like that. When they've got junctions that have got like 5 layers on top of each other, they've done that on purpose. It's not like most cities where it's like, oh, well, these roads weren't really built for cars. It's kind of grown organically over the years. They've deliberately made the city like this. I don't know what they were thinking.
Why do you think they say they send people to Coventry? So they'll never see him again.
That's hideous. What a horrible place. Best thing from Coventry coming soon, by the way, as well.
Oh, I mean, I know my way around there. I'll guide us.
I bet you don't. I bet you can't get us in and out without a map.
Well, I knew where like the Iceland was, and I knew if I ever needed to buy a sword, I knew where to buy one.
Oh well, hold on then. Yeah, if you know where Iceland Coventry is, then yeah, let's crack on. That's an entire video all by itself.
Well, the sword bit was a bit more interesting. I don't know if the shop will still be there, but I just remember thinking, you know a place when you know where you could buy a weapon on the fly if you ever needed to.
You can't put that on YouTube. You can't put swords on YouTube. They'll demonetize the video.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's Anna wouldn't let me film Swiss Army knives in Switzerland because you can't put knives on YouTube.
That's why my fencing series went down the toilet. I just thought nobody was interested in me fencing. God damn it.
That and the fact that the Swiss Army knife people yelled at me for filming in their shop. But she did say it doesn't matter any. As I was sulking about being yelled at by an angry Swiss lady, and Anna did make the point that I wouldn't have been able to include it in the video anyway because it would have been demonetised. And if you know anything about me, boys and girls, you'll know being monetised is my favourite thing.
They seem to yell at you a lot out there. Is that their culture, just yelling at people for getting stuff wrong?
I think so. I mean, it's bearing in mind we were in Geneva. We weren't in any of the normal parts of Switzerland. We were in crazy cuckoo bananas upside down land that's just known for its dodgy bank accounts and money laundering and incredibly wealthy people going there to use dodgy bank accounts and money launder. So everything was stupid expensive. Me and Anna got a round at Starbucks that was identical to a round we'd got in Leicester 2 days before. It cost us £8 in Leicester for 2 coffees and a water. In Geneva, it cost us 22 francs for the same round, same coffee, same water. That's about £20.
Wild, isn't it?
It's about 2.5 times as expensive. I spoke to a couple of locals at the football. They were like, yeah, but if you live here, you earn a Swiss salary, so you don't really notice it.
I was about to say, are you going to ask any of them to sponsor you now? Just walk around Geneva going, anyone want to sponsor my my vlog? They'll throw money at you.
But yeah, I get the impression because they're all wealthy and criminals there, they don't really like people wandering around with cameras.
So, a lot of libel tonight, ain't you? A lot of libel.
Well, you know.
That's Geneva, Ford, anyone else? I can't remember.
I mean, I've not said anything that's not been true, so come at me. At RB6K, come at me.
Bring it. So I mentioned I wasn't going to plug it till later on, but then I thought, I'll do it now and then we can crack on with games. But I did also launch a podcast this week called the Autistic Creative Hub Podcast. Where I've been interviewing autistic people about their jobs. So if you're interested in hearing that after this episode, go check it out. It's on Spotify, iTunes, all of that stuff. Could really do with some reviews because it's got lots of people listening to it, but no one's reviewed it. So yeah. Help me out.
I mean, that might be for the best if they're not loving it so much they're reviewing it.
Well, they're listening to the episodes. Do you know what I mean? So there's 3 on there, and all 3 are getting consistently listened to in an order. So I don't know. People just forget to do it. I think it's fine. But yeah, I know. Well, Matt Quine did tell me that you can't review on Spotify until there's 5 episodes. So that might be it. Maybe episode 5. I'll just get it up.
So you've only done 3. You've been told nobody can review until you get to 5, but you're asking people to do it anyway.
Well, no, because iTunes you can, and I just want to.
Nobody's still got iTunes anymore, surely.
Apparently they have. I mean,
I
told
don't
you
believe
before,
anyone still uses iTunes for podcasts.
75% of this podcast listeners do. So
yeah, because whenever anyone on Spotify gives us a try, they're met by a 4-minute long intro song, so they don't bother.
Yeah,
it's only the old school from when iTunes was relevant who was sitting through that intro.
Yeah, fair. Right. So, are we saying no intro this week, Pabby?
He'll put it in anyway.
Who knows? I could have put anything in. I'll put anything in.
Who knows?
So, yeah.
I'll put the 4-minute one in. Sod it. Why not?
Do it. Maybe give it a farewell.
I genuinely don't think it'll make any difference. I think once you get past like 15 seconds, it doesn't matter how long it is. You may as well just put out an entire hour-long podcast of just a jingle on a loop.
Oh, God, you're just moany today, aren't you? Jeez.
I get upset about things when they're done wrong. And we've been doing this wrong
Then
for a
you
long
do it
time.
then.
I mean, it was my mistake in the first place. I'm trying to correct it.
You should.
He should.
Pab, don't put the intro in ever again. There you go, corrected. Let's talk about video games. I haven't played any in the 2 weeks since I was last on this show. I now consume my video games as movies. I've watched the Super Mario Brothers movie. I've watched the Tetris movie. I no longer play games. I'm like Sheepdog from his watching the ending on YouTube era. I just watch the film. I don't need to play the games anymore.
Chapman, that era continues because I watched Portal 1 today from start to finish.
Why?
Because I was trying to get it as a game to show it to Ollie, because he keeps referencing the cake being a lie, but he has no idea what he's talking about, and it was getting on my nerves because he was just using it out of context and wrong, and I don't know. And in the end, I was like, "Why do you keep saying this?" And he was like, "I just heard it was a Portal thing, and I thought it was funny." And I'm like, "Right, we need to play Portal," and then I could only find Portal 2 on any of the shops on the Xbox, and
the orange box is still on there, I think.
Oh, I couldn't remember the name of it. I was like, I literally was like, what is it called? It's got an orange cover. Yeah.
It's in an orange box. What's it called?
But so we ended up watching, Portal 1 through from start to finish. The video was only like 2.5 hours. I didn't realize how short that game was. But he loved it. He wants to play Portal 2 now, so I've got to get him that on the Xbox. I'm sort of thinking I might just ignore him because he's got a pile of shame to play through, and it's bound to just appear. I mean, it's like 15 quid at the moment, and I'm like, I don't mind paying that, but bit of me's like, it's probably going to be on something or other for nothing at some point along the way. I've got it on other platforms, but anyway, he loved it. He was well impressed. He thought Portal was great, and Ben thought it was great. It stands up pretty well for its age. I'm baffled they didn't make a third one though. I'm still kind of like, why isn't there a Portal 3? There's the bridge game, isn't there? But why is there not a proper Portal 3?
Because Valve don't need to make games anymore. They have Steam.
They don't like They don't like the number 3.
I think it just genuinely is. They make more money from Steam, so they don't need to bother making games anymore.
But wouldn't you be like, I want to make this because it was great. It makes sense to make this because it was great. I
think they're more, that's a really expensive thing to do. Let's just do the thing that makes us loads of money and doesn't take much effort.
Maybe. I hate that mentality. I want to see... I mean, by now we should be at like Portal 9 and we should all be moaning about how it's played out and they should quit. They can't win either way. But he was happy. That was cool. So, yeah, we can add Portal, Tetris, Mario. Anything else we've watched this week?
No.
Pab's like, I watched Mortal Kombat. I watched Detective Pikachu.
I mean... I will officially put it out there. The Tetris film is much better than the Super Mario Brothers film. I think that's important that people are aware. The Tetris one is very good. The Mario one it's a kids film, but it's got lots of cool little callbacks to all of the games. But story-wise, it's absolute bobbins. But the Tetris one is very good. So
I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about the Mario one. And I've seen that the Tetris film's on Apple. I might watch that over the weekend then. I'm doing a charity stream tomorrow, while I remember, so I won't watch it tomorrow night. I'm doing an Among Us charity stream for between 8 and 11 UK time, and aren't they doing an Among Us series, something like that? They're doing some sort of Among Us related thing. I remember Ollie telling me. Yeah, because that blew up so much. We could watch that. Another game we can watch. I feel like there's a theme forming here.
It's so much easier to watch games than play them.
They should make more stories that you could just watch without having to interact with them.
Yeah, we never did talk about The Last of Us on the podcast either. We all watched that as well. So, watchy. That's all we do now. From now on, this is the rebirth of the podcast. We've dropped the theme song, and we now only talk about video game adaptations in other media because we don't play them anymore because we're old. There you go. We're sorted.
I'm looking down. There's a little pile of games in front of me, right? And the first one's Minecraft, which has a Netflix series. Below that is Pokemon. Below that is Cuphead. And below that is Super Mario. So, yeah, I feel like you're right. All the stuff that I play is now consumable that way. Sorted.
Magic.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say I did secretly play one game, but carry on with what you were saying. I was changing the subject.
just going to say, didn't they announce that the Minecraft movie's coming out in 2025 this week?
Who's in that? What's in that?
Jason
Is that just going to
Momoa.
be Chris Pratt again?
No, Jason Momoa.
What, as Steve?
I don't know. I have no clue.
Mad. So what did you play, Kev? Secret.
I played Mini Motorways mainly because when we were on the plane on the way back from Switzerland, I couldn't be bothered to get my Switch out of my bag. I had some issues with my man purse on the plane on the way back that Anna found very amusing. I just kept getting tangled in it. And then I got to the point where it was in a comfortable place, but my Switch was in it, but I couldn't get to my Switch. But I didn't want to become uncomfortable, so I just used my phone and played Mini Motorways instead, which is great. It's great fun. I love Mini Motorways. I've talked about it before, and it's just great. The Mini Motorways, the train one as well that I can't remember the name of.
Metro.
There you go, Mini Metro. These are great games. If you haven't played them, you really should. They're dirt cheap. They're on Apple Arcade as well. I'd probably play it on an iPad rather than a phone. I did try and play it on the Steam Deck way back, but it's a nightmare on the Steam Deck because it's much better with touchscreen, and the touchscreen on the Steam Deck is not as responsive as it is on a phone. But yeah, I'd whip out your iPad, get on your Apple Arcade, because everyone should have Apple Arcade in this day and age. You've already got it for Football Manager, surely, boys and girls. And give Mini Motorways a crack. It's good. It's better than Mini Metro, but they're both awesome, and I enjoyed it. But then this stupid idiot landed the plane, and I had to stop playing. And I haven't been back to it since.
I had that problem when I started Football Manager Mobile. They landed the plane, and I was just like, oh, okay, fine.
Yeah, pilots are so annoying. We should go to further away places.
I mean, I do keep hoping you'll get signed for a team that's like in a bizarre, far-flung place.
I mean, without letting you too far behind the curtain, Sheepdog, I'm in full control of who I end up managing. there's a reason it's been Barcelona and Juventus, and not some team in Helsinki or somewhere.
Well, I want to see FC Honolulu. That's what I keep nudging you towards.
They're not in the game. I mean, I've said for years I'm never going back to the MLS, but it's becoming quite. Has Disneyland got a team?
I bet they have.
Yeah, I might have to go and manage Walt Disney World FC. So me and Anna can have a all expenses paid trip. So that's not how it works. That's how people in my Twitch chat think it works. Oh, Kev's had a free trip to Switzerland. That's not how business expenses work. If I still had to pay for it. Oh, people, eh? People. While we're plugging all of our other stuff before you lot talk about games, I know we might not be getting this podcast out before this has happened, but I'm at Insomnia all weekend this weekend. So whenever this podcast does come out, if it's before like 5 p.m. on Sunday and you're at Insomnia, come and find me. I'll probably be hanging out somewhere around the Creator Tavern over the course of the weekend. I'm also streaming live from the show floor again, like I did last year. I'm actually going to be streaming some Football Manager this time as well. I've got to take my save on a thumb drive so that I can play Football Manager and stream that from the show floor. And just basically going to be having a mooch around Insomnia at the NEC all weekend. So if you're going to be there, come and find me. Say hello to old Kev. A splendid time will be had by all. I haven't really looked at what else is there. I don't know if I'm going to get to play anything new. I don't know if it's that kind of event these days. It's more and more becoming even more community focused than anything else. I know TikTok are there, so I'm going to be once again in my hunt to get verified on TikTok so that I can get my username. But I don't know if they've actually got anything that's going to make Anna immediately decide she wants to come.
A friend of mine's there playing in the League of Legends tournament and a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament as well. So it sounds like it's just lots and lots of that still. Yeah,
I'm looking at it. I know there's a lot of Fall Guys stuff going on as well. There is a Pokemon TCG tournament. I might take a deck. Might dust off a deck and take a deck with me.
When was the last time you played that?
Actually, with physical cards, probably about 6 months ago. I still play on the app, but actually with physical cards, it's been a while. There's special Pokemon Go stuff going on. 6-hour lures and encounter Joltik, Porygon, and Unknown I and B upon completion of field research. How exciting!
Apparently, the army are going to be there with a helicopter.
There's a Yorkshire tea.
I was just getting to that. You're on the same page as me then.
Yeah. Oh, and Cyberpower PCs are there as well. So if they want to give me a free PC, I am up for that. Looking at this, I mean, if I sweet talk the right people, I could come away with a lovely set of freebies. 3D printers, Monster Energy, Canon cameras, a Discord server. Oh, there's so much stuff I could try and steal.
Zombie infection.
I'm probably going to end up joining the army. I've signed up for that. I'm not sure what that is, but I have signed up for zombie infection.
It's running away from zombies, but you ain't going to survive that.
There's a creator-only one on the Saturday night that I've signed up for, I think. It's just going to be a bunch of the worst people in the world being chased by zombies. So that'll be fun. Yeah. I mean, hopefully
GoPro it.
I will GoPro it. It's going to be amazing. Just imagine all of the influencer wangs like me all getting chased by zombies and eaten alive. It's going to be phenomenal.
It looks like it's just paintball, sort of, with zombies running around it.
Oh, I ain't doing paintball.
So it looks like it says you're doing like a King of the Hill thing, trying to unlock your team's antivirus.
I ain't
crate.
moving. If they expect me to run around, that ain't happening.
Yeah, live zombies will be running around trying to bite you.
Oh, I'll just
Oh,
let
don't
him,
go, Kevin.
get me. No, I'll just let him get me. I'll become a zombie, and then I'll just sit. I'll play more mini motorways.
You get a
It's
rail
fine.
gun, which sounds amazing.
Okay, I'm interested. Get me on the
Specifically
rail
designed
gun.
to take down the infected, apparently.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like horde mode, I guess.
Yeah, basically.
Then
Similar
you-
to the training camp I did years ago, but horde mode instead of missions.
Good Lord. On the disclaimer, this is a full contact experience.
Yeah, don't be going. Don't go. You
Our
will
team
get
are
hurt.
trained to make contact in a safe way. Participants are not allowed to make contact with our team under any circumstances. So they can grope me, but I can't grope them.
Like, you're not. Don't go, Kevin, because you'll get hurt.
Uh,
You're the only person
I've already
listening to
got
this
a
who's thinking
walking
that.
stick.
Everybody else is willing him on for the story.
Kevin,
the event will include loud noises, flashing lights, pyrotechnics, smoke, and adult content.
don't
What?
go,
That's
Kevin.
me. Sounds
Go and
like a
have a-
night out at the coach house where I used to
Have a-
live.
Have a nap.
It's
Have
not
no
suitable
night and a
for
face
guests
mask.
that have liquid latex allergies. Do I have a liquid latex allergy?
Yes, you do.
Okay, well, maybe I'll just go in there, smack a zombie around a little bit, and then leave. I mean, if a zombie comes at me and tries to... It says if I do that, I face criminal charges. My defence is rock solid. They tried to eat me.
I was thinking
I
if you
didn't
went
know
in
it was
there,
an event.
get a rail gun, and then shoot your way out and go home with the gun.
Yeah. Is a railgun a gun on a train? 'Cause that sounds
That's what
fun.
you want, yeah.
I'd
I
love
thought-
that, yeah.
Just on the back of a train, gunning
Yeah.
everyone down while you used to stand there while getting driven
I'd
around.
love that. Perhaps we'll go on the train into Birmingham City Centre. That one's always really busy. A gun would be really handy in there. Be amazing. Are you not
Now
going to
you're
talk about some
talking
games?
Mustache.
I assumed you were putting adverts in at some point.
Oh, God, are we at that point already? No one's talked about any video games yet.
You have. We
Crazy.
have. We talked about
Yeah.
ones we watched.
Put an advert in, Pab! There we go.
Game wise, I've mainly played things that I went back to a few things that I've not played in a little while because my wife went to see England's women's team play Brazil yesterday, so I had the boys for 2 days, and the only thing I could think of to keep them entertained.
That sounds like a long match. Goodness me.
Yeah. We played more Disney Dreamlight. I've not been on it in a long time, so they've added like 4 characters since the last time we logged in, and so Ben wanted to crack on that. The reason I'm bringing it up more than just saying, oh yeah, they've added more characters since there's been an update, is the update has kind of killed it on the Xbox One now. Like, I know the Xbox One is last gen and this gen's been going for a while and blah 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 blah, but the game is supposed to work on it. And at this point, the most recent update seems to have made that very difficult. We were trying to put the Encanto house down, and the game just crashes and dies every time. And I need to look whether there's a bug, but that wasn't the only problem we had. It was like just there was fog, and the fog was just killing the Xbox. And yeah, I feel like it's just at its absolute limit now. And that game, which isn't even a demanding game, like it's not sort of pushing it to its absolute limits because it's high tech. It's just a normal game. And I think it's a good justification for me to say, oh, we need to replace this like immediately with a new one, because now Ben can't play his game. Like, never mind me, Ben can't play it. So it was still fun before that happened. They've added in all these different mysteries. You could actually build your own Disneyland in there now. I think they're releasing, like, as well as releasing characters, they're releasing rides, because like the rides you could get, well, I think it was like the Dumbo ride and stuff like that. But yeah, they've added a new segment where, as well as building your town with your Disney characters all having their own little stories and interactions, now you can build your own Disneyland, which I just thought that's cool. That sounds fun. I don't know whether people will come to it or whatever. I think it's just dumping rides around your place and building it into a big vibrant area. But yeah, it seemed very cool and snazzy and clever. That's an update. I played a little bit of Terraria with Ollie. I kind of don't want to play it, and he keeps insisting that I do. It's all right, but it's not that good. I'm sort of, I don't know how to get out of it. I need to find a way for him to play with someone else, but no one wants to play it because it's that. I was hammering Football Manager. Got back on that. You rated me while I was playing it. Thank you very much for that. That was good. I'm enjoying my playthrough.
That was a mistake. I misclicked.
You misclicked. And then the only other thing I wanted to touch on, I touched on this last week with Pab about Pokemon Go ruining the remote raids and putting a cap on it and changing prices and that. And I know we agreed at the time, like putting a cap of 5 raids a day doesn't seem that bad. But everyone has been going nuts this week about the whole change, and loads of people have like deleted their accounts and filmed them deleting the app and all of this. And it's become this like, because I'm not particularly as engrossed about it, I'm just seeing it happen, and I'm thinking this is quite funny. A lot of people are just saying, "No, it's dead now. You've done it now," and I'm looking forward to them crawling back on their bellies and announcing what change they've done. But yeah, it seems to be one of those things where I don't know. They keep saying it's for the good of the game long term that they have to do these changes, and people are just saying, like, "Nope, screw you, I'm out." And I'm thinking this could be that thing that finally kind of pushes it into big decline. I've had a few record years, but now it seems like it's rolling over a bit. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm sure they'll announce Pikachu in a new hat and everyone will come crawling back. But it's intriguing to see what happens next, because they used to have a bit of like a community manager that would talk people through it all and fix it all. And nowadays it's all anonymous and they just keep announcing terrible things. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that is me for the week. And over to you lot.
There's a special cola from Turin called Mole Cola.
Mole Cola.
Yeah, I'm looking at Turin things now.
Mole Cola.
Are there moles in it? Is it vegetarian?
I don't know. Don't worry, I've sent you the details.
Okie dokie. Pabby, what you played?
What have I played? What haven't I played? So, like I mentioned, graphics card and everything works as it should now. So I'm no longer fretting that it's gonna just melt. So I have played a little bit more. I've played a tiny bit more Hitman just to see how it runs. It does run remarkably well on the high settings now. So I've played a little bit more Hitman. Did another level on the freelancer mode, which I still think is such a clever way of playing the game. It's effectively like it's run based Hitman randomizer effectively. And yeah, I just like, even if you just do one level at a time, it's not too taxing like that. I feel like sometimes it can be a bit stressful if you just play, like, trying to do a certain amount of a run. If you find yourself doing a particularly long level, you just have to stop it and come back to it the next day and do another one. Because for me, I would, when I initially started playing Freelancer, I feel like I was just rushing a little bit at times, just wanting to get things done, and that's when you make mistakes. And mistakes will end your run or force you into an alerted situation, and you don't really want to be doing missions alerted because it's a pain. The main thing I have played is I caved and I got Resident Evil 4 because I had this epiphany. Like, I heard people talking about it on podcasts, and then I had the realization that, wait, Resident Evil 4 was the only one that I actually liked back in the day.
I liked 5 more than 4, but I can remember. Like, I mean, I've watched someone play the whole thing. I'm like, I don't remember any. Like, the only thing I remember of 4 is Ashley being really annoying. That was the only thing I remember. Oh, and the people with the chainsaws.
Yeah, I remember.
I've been watching. I'm like, I don't remember any of this, so it's been good to watch.
Yeah, I remember the village. I remember the lake with the big crocodile fella in it. And I remember that you go to I never finished it when back when it first came out, but I remember I got to like a big castle type thing, and then there was just a lot of people with like some like old school clothes on, like fancy posh clothes, and like throwing things at me, and I was like, I don't remember it, but this is it's a remake, so it's not, it's like, it's not exact. It's got similar sort of things to it as the original, but it's not. It's remade with more modern aspects to it. So the original, you would have to stop and aim to shoot. That was a thing that but like all of the games in them days, you would stop and aim to shoot, and that was it. But now you can move and shoot at the same time. I don't know if these were in the original. I don't remember it being in the original. There's sort of like side quests in there, where you get given like these blue notes, and it's like I just did one today. It was like kill all the rats or something like that, and then the original one that I found was like clear out all these little blue tokens that are hanging everywhere, and you get a different currency, and then you can spend that currency on upgrades from the shopkeeper. Yeah, I feel like I've played I'm up to chapter 3. I'm not too far in it.
You're quite. You're not far.
I'm not far in it really. No, but I've played about 3 hours maybe. I've just been enjoying looking around and looking at how it looks, because it does look like absolutely something else with the ray tracing on and all the stuff turned up, and it runs impeccably well, plays well. I've got it on easy because I'm not playing that on anything other than easy.
No.
I looked to like, is there like just a unlimited ammo mode, because that's what I kind of want, so I can just shotgun.
I think if you get
everything.
80,000, you can buy the RPG and then just RPG it through the whole game.
Yeah, but is the RPG actually? I thought the RPG was.
No, it's there.
Oh no, but I didn't know whether it's a one-time use thing. It's not like a.
Oh, I'm not sure.
It's I can't remember whether that was in the original one or if they've changed it, or whether it was. It's one-time use sort of thing, so it's gone once you get to a certain point. It's no longer there.
Okay.
So use it wisely. But yeah, I'm actually quite enjoying it, and I want to get back to playing it and seeing what lies ahead, because like I say, I remember I was like never interested in Resident Evil because it was just a scary zombie game. And then 4 came out and I saw it and I was like, this seems okay. And same again.
There's nothing chasing you.
It's not,
and I think that's not having that in the back of your mind is
well, that's
good.
the thing. See, so this one, it's the same as like it's not scary. It's just more tense. Mm-hmm. It's not. I don't think the only jump scare I've had so far in this game is I fell through a roof. There's just sometimes the floor underneath you breaks and you fall down. That's about it. It's more tense in the sense of like the first village that you go to and you are waiting for the bell to ring. It's just how long, just survive. It's just survive. And
do you know if you get on top of a building, because like obviously when watching speedruns, if you get on top of a building and shoot that bell, because you can see it, it will end the it will end that segment. Yeah,
that's clever.
Yeah,
that's very
there's
clever.
a lot of things like that. I know that, but that's like right at the start. But yeah, if you can get on a building, shoot the bell. Obviously, it's in a distance, so you're gonna need a good gun. But if you shoot it, it will end the horde.
I'm sorry.
That's quite cool. Sorry, my watch is being silly.
Thought that was Pab talking weird.
No,
What's going on as well then?
My watch got caught and was saying something. He's like, "Can you say that again?" Like, no, I can't. But yeah, there's certain things in there. Like there is a boss that you can fight, and if you chuck 2 golden eggs at him, it will end the fight. So
now I've got to look for golden eggs. Need to figure out which boss it is and how many eggs, where the golden eggs are coming from. But yeah, I do. I've enjoyed it. Like I say, the only thing that's been stressful for me is just the bits where you kind of got to hold out and just. I'm not a massive fan of like hold out for a certain amount of time sort of levels. Not even like even in like when they did them in Call of Duty, and you just had to hold your position and fight off of waves of enemies until a certain, something that triggers or something. I don't like that much.
No.
Especially for me, who's like, especially like it's a game where ammo is kind of, you need it, and you don't want to be just peppering enemies down, trying to stay alive for a certain amount of time, and then you finish that and you come out, you go, I've got 4 bullets left. Great. Carry on as you were, just with 4 bullets now. Thanks. But like I say, it is made considerably easier because I'm playing on assisted mode, or whatever it is, the easiest mode, assisted.
Not wrong with that.
No, I don't think so. I think that just gives me a lot more gunpowder to make ammo.
And you're going to enjoy it more. Like, I understand why
Yes.
people want to play it on professional and stuff, but I have no interest in playing, like, if I was playing it, to play on professional, because that's just not any fun.
Yeah. I mean, I got it simply because I was like, I need something. I want something that's new, that's gonna test this machine now. And it was this or Last of Us on PC, which came out last week. But that's a mess. It's a nightmare.
Oh, yeah, I've heard.
It's an absolute mess. So it's like, hold off on that until someone says, no, this is actually fine now. Because I would actually, after watching the Last of Us show, wouldn't mind playing it again. But I'm not playing it like in the state that it's in. I will play it when it's fixed and it's stable, because it's a bit all over the place at the minute.
Yes, it's not great, is it?
No. So I went with
I've
Resident Evil.
seen some screenshots. I'm like, oh my lord.
Yeah, I've seen some things that have gone, that's edited. That's not a screenshot. I'm like, yeah, it is. I'm like, no, that looks like it's made in Photoshop. That is not real. I was like, oh, apparently it is. Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. The only other thing I have done is I have so the 3DS is the 3D eShop is now no more on the 3DS.
No.
Yes, it went. Sheepdog managed to skirt in just at the end, didn't you, Sheepdog? And
Yeah, I got all my bits and pieces sorted.
Yeah.
I'm lucky because Pokemon Bank is free now, so I did all the things I needed to do, and then that's like it's just open to anyone who needs to transfer stuff into home. So if you've got all the old Pokemon games and you want to move all your Pokemon across, now's the time to do it. You just link up your home, you send them over, you receive them in home, and then they're saved in your home app forever. You can move them into the new games and all that. But someone mentioned that the Sun and Moon, Pokemon Sun and Moon demo had a special Greninja in it that you could only get in that demo. I don't know, it's like some form of it. I can't even remember where it's. I think it's from the anime, but it was like a big deal at the time. It was a reason to play the demo. And so there was all these messages coming out saying, get on there and get that now, because that'll be gone forever once that's done. They're not going to re-release a demo. So I went and thought I'd try and figure out how to find the demo, and realised A, I already had it, B, I'd already completed it, and C, all I do is like literally log in, collect the Pokemon, send it to bank, and like I've just got it all there. It's fine. I can sort it all out and send it over. But yeah, it turned out old Sheepdog had done all the things I needed to do at some point in history, and I need to transfer it at some point, and I need to remember to do it.
So with the eShop being closed, I was introduced to the H shop.
The what?
The H shop this past week. And it lets you download the games.
The what, sorry?
The games.
It sounds like Hogwash antics to me.
Yeah, it's all backups. All backups.
You are a rascal.
Yes. So I have a quite a few games on my DS now, and I the only thing that I've really played on it is Picross, because I was like, there's so many Picross games. There's so many Picross games, and I never really got into Picross, but I can see why people would get into Picross. It's it gives me the same sort of vibe as like Sudoku, but it's not. For me, it doesn't seem as stressful. But there's all different types. There's Mario, there's Pokemon, there's Zelda, Picross. There's 3D Picross.
Didn't you like that, Kevin? Didn't you have that game?
It sounds
I'm sure
familiar.
when I met you, you had it on something.
Maybe. It does sound like the sort of thing I'd have, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
They are very addictive little games that just like puzzlers that aren't very stressful. And like I say, I'm not. I can do a Sudoku, but I feel like there's sometimes the Sudokus get a bit much. So that's what I've been playing. I've got Japanese Train Simulator downloaded, which seems very cool.
What is that? That sounds excellent.
It's insane. It's
It's not for me, but my son loves.
It's insane because it uses real FMV videos of the trains moving. So you move it down the track in real time with like a video. And you have the controls on the bottom screen, and obviously the video on the top screen, and that like. I was like, this seems just really cool. I think there's something similar out on Steam. I saw a while ago, and then I saw this video. I saw like with the eShop going away and what have you. There was lots of like, threads on Twitter of all like these cool games that you wouldn't have heard of. On the but that you wouldn't have heard of to get before it shuts and what have you. And I just went through the threads and just looking at them and just okay, we'll have that one, and yeah. So I've been doing that, and I think the current count is up to about 54 games.
Jeez.
So we're doing all right, and then we shall continue to work on downloading more from the virtual console and other things. But other than that, I think that has pretty much been my week. So over to you, Anna. What have you been playing?
Nothing really this week. A couple of weeks ago, I did play. Oh god, a Plague's Tale. Is that a thing?
Innocence of Requiem.
Yes, I played that one. And I didn't like it. Well, I say I didn't like it. I played it for a good 8 hours, but I just got annoyed with it because.
The original one, isn't it, this?
No, the second one.
The second
one? Yeah, the first one, I couldn't finish because there was a night after me, and I just could not for the life of me work out what I was supposed to do. I streamed it.
Yes,
the whole game, and I just could not get past the night, so I had no idea how the game ended. Couldn't tell you, but don't know. So I went to the second one. When it came out, but at the time something else came out, so I just left it and didn't go to it.
Me too.
So I went back to it because I was like, I've got nothing. I've got things, but they're all just not very good. So I went and I played it a few weeks ago, and it's not like the rats aren't as well. I say the rats aren't as bad. They are awful when they come at you, but the puzzles for the rats are very easy compared to when you have to fight humans, because they are obviously the AI for humans is going to be a lot better for rats, because with rats they don't like light. As long as you've got light, you are fine. That is literally I
feel like the rats are more of a puzzle element, whereas the enemies are more like a stealth combat element, where you have to kind of avoid them, but the rats are just, you have to just find a way of avoiding them in a puzzle format, rather than the humans who just want to kill you.
It just gets annoying because you figure out, because it is basically every couple of levels you get a new, not power, but a new way of doing things, and you just get used to one, and then it gives you another thing. You're like, oh, for goodness sake, now you've got to remember how to use that and how to learn it. Because, you can obviously use the rats to get people eaten, but then when you've done that, then the rat's there, and now you have to find another way around. So it's should you use the rats? Because if you use the rats, then you've got to go around a different way, and then there's more humans. And I just got annoyed with because obviously at the start the puzzles are quite, and the stuff is quite condensed, and it's quite easy to go hit that, do this, do that, you're out. Then now there's enemies that have armor and you can't beat them down and you can't use rats on them, and so I just got annoyed with it and I turned it off. I may go back to it at some point, but the little boy, like, yes, he's got powers, but oh my god, he annoys me. It's just whiny. I don't need that in my life right now. I don't need a whiny boy just going, help me. No, thank you. So I played that. And then while we was in Switzerland, I had a rest day and a half. I was playing again. I forget what it's called, but it's the Mario game that's like XCOM, but the new one.
Rabbids.
Oh, Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah, but the blah 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 blah.
Mario and Rabbids. No, I'm thinking Kingdom Battle was the first one. Now you're gonna make me look it up. Hang on.
Anyway, I started it again because I didn't know how to play it. I went into the first level, which is a nice beach area. But it's like raining and it's been taken over by like this goo, and all the goo is like where your enemies, your like battle scenes are. So you go up to a bit of goo, you go into it, you go to your battle scene, you do all your battling. So like in the battles you can have I think you start with 2 people, but then you find a new person and you can have 3 in a team, and then each team gets a, like, because these stars that have, I forget what they're called.
Sparks?
But they
Sparks.
Sparks, yes, Sparks that have been like muddled up with rabbits, so they're a bit wiggly. So they're not, because like we just seen the Mario film, and the sparks in that, or the spark in there, he was very depressed, wasn't he, Kevin?
Yes.
It was very depressed, but these ones have been like wiggled around and infused with a rabbit, so they're a bit crazy, but they're fun. So like you've got one that has like mirrors around it, and when you activate the mirrors, all the hits you get reflected back for one go. Or you've got one that will make all your shootiness have fire or ice or water or wind, and like say you use the water one, you'll get extra damage, but then they'll become slippery and slip all over the ground and then could fall off the edge. So that's how you get rid of one of them. If you set one on fire, you get extra damage, but then obviously they're on fire and they run around, and if they hit another enemy, then they're on fire, and then you can just, and because you sometimes have bombs on the battleground, the bombs can then set off, which then that can blow up like other enemies, and you can just like have a whole cascade of like everything going, and you've only had like one go, and you're like, excellent. So there's lots of like fun stuff in that. So I played obviously, like I said, I played the first area for a little bit just to get back into it. Then went back to my save, and I don't know if I'm on the 2nd level or the 3rd, but I'm in there in this world. It's like an ice world, and it's more of the same. Like you've got to get rid of the goo, you've got to find out what's happened, you got to find the sparks, and obviously the more sparks you get, the more different powers you get. And now, like, this is like this, like, I don't know, the second world, and now I can have 2 sparks per character. So now you can have one that's like, have one that is water, and then you have one that is freeze, and you can use them, like you have, like it, like I said, it's like XCOM, so you have only so many turns, but like one of them could, like, right, so you can hit one with, like, say the freeze, and then your last go can be like hunkered down like in XCOM, and then on the next enemy move, if someone moves, you shoot them. So yeah, there's lots of comparisons to XCOM, and XCOM is a good game, but it's like Mario-fied, and like there's side quests in there, there's puzzles in there. It's all good fun, and it's more of the same, but I've only played like two worlds, so I don't have much else to say on it. But yeah, that's on only on the Switch, I believe.
Yep.
And I think the other game is on everything.
No,
I want to say
only on Switch.
Oh, is it not?
Only on the Switch, yeah.
No, the Requiem.
Yes, Plague Tale Requiem. Yes, it's yes, I know
It's
it was
definitely
on
on
Game
Xbox.
Pass.
It's definitely on PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it was
5,
on Game
sorry.
Pass. So
But the rats in there when they come at you are terrifying. Like I said, the puzzles are fun because like if you've got like they're fine, but when they come at you at some points, Jesus, I don't want to play it. They are scary because like you remember the first one when like you have like the whole floor is covered in rats. Yeah, these rats are coming at you in waves, and yeah, that's no fun. But apart from the two films I've seen, that's I did do like 8 hours of colouring yesterday, but
nice.
I had to do. You know when you just got hands and you've got nothing to do.
You know when you've just got hands.
I often find myself
you
having
need
hands.
to do something. I just sat there for 8 hours with my colouring books, watching Gogglebox and colouring, because the children have left. And it is awful. So, children, keep them forever children. Like, that's what I want to happen in the world.
I'd recommend not having them in the first place.
No, because children are lovely. Oh my God.
They're all right.
Leaving home is just awful. Oh, don't do it. But anyway, that's me.
I believe that is that, boys and girls. So if you want to bombard us with nonsense on the internet, you can do that by tweeting at Mgukpodcast, or you can follow me at Lelujo.
And you can follow me at RB6K.
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
And I'm at Pab 1986.
And we'll maybe see you next week, boys and girls. It's just occurred to me. Me and Sheepdog fly back from Italy on Friday, so there might be a podcast next week, folks. We shall see. Bye-bye.
Have a good week.
Toodle pip.
Thanks for listening, folks.